Hey guys, Mitko here from DN Models. Today we're going to take a quick look at one very compact and interestingly designed compressor from Sparmax. Its name is Sparmax Arism VIZ. It is part of the Arism series, and this one, called simply VIZ, is the most interesting of that series in my opinion. This compressor is a bundle set featuring everything that you need to start airbrushing. Only thing that is missing here is the airbrush itself. Might not sound as much, but it is. Main features of the Arism VIZ compressor are relatively lightweight, small size, more than decent airflow, DC motor allowing for worldwide usage, smart stop function, and more. Everything comes packed in a typical for Sparmax black cardboard box with most of the information presented in the form of logos, notes, and short descriptions. The cardboard forms a suitcase with a plastic handle and it is relatively heavy. That is because of the many protective cardboard layers inside and the fact that compressor itself is just a part of the contents. Inside we have everything arranged and separately packed in a way that protection is the first thing that comes into mind. There is foaming material that protects compressor pressure gauge, cardboard legs beneath the compressor body to hold it into place, sections in between the compressor and the other components which will prevent scratches and damage, plus everything is packed in plastic bags for additional protection, of course. Shortly put, there are many things stashed. That includes a hose, silver bullet plus moisture trap, airbrush holder, laptop-like charging box and a cable for the main, two paper sheets, one being the instruction, the other a signed info note about the device, also the compressor itself, of course. Dividing everything and you can get the idea why the box was so heavy from the get-go. One thing is that the packing itself has a significant weight. The other is that there is parts like the main cable and the adapter which are not to be added to the weight of the compressor itself, of course. Besides that box, which is designed for general transportation, everything is compact and tidy, which is the main idea of the package here. Looking at the shiny body of the compressor, you can get why Sparmax put so much effort into protecting it. It looks more like decoration than a regular air pressure supply tool. Other items included are not so posh, besides the silver bullet and the airbrush holder, of course, but they are there to do the job and nothing more. Especially interesting is the power supply concept that Sparmax chose for that set. It consists of two parts: an adapter with a cable that goes into the compressor, and a power cable, which in this case is one suitable for European standards. The power cable end that goes into the adapter is 3-pin type, but not the Mickey Mouse one. Both cables are not very long, which is something that I like a lot. Cable management, especially if you grew in an era before Wi-Fi, was and still is something important. I firmly believe that behind every molding desk there should be a main supply with couple of plugs available. In this case, as we see the cables neatly folded out of the box, I trust that they should look the same when using the tool in your workspace. That makes longer cables unnecessary and often causing more troubles than help. Silver bullet plus moisture trap included is more than just a bonus here. It serves as a pressure regulator for the compressor and the setting that you might want to use while spraying. It is a non-standard decision from Sparmax, which made me wonder why at first. Then I came to the conclusion that it is too risky not using a moisture trap at all, although some molders do that. In this case, using it is unavoidable, which is something like an almost forced safety precaution. I like that a lot. Other than this, everything is pretty standard for the moisture trap. The typical for Sparmax blue color and the swiveling knob is what makes it different. Other than that, it is the same old useful tool used for airbrushing. There is a release pin like a button for the moisture trapped and fitting, which are standard one each size. Then it comes the translucent and very nice looking airbrush holder slash stopper. Superb in quality, made from rather thick material and sitting on a square base. This airbrush holder is in the same time the medium for the airbrush to engage the trigger that stabs the compressor while airbrush is placed and not working. More than just saving energy, this keeps compressor's life longer and it works great. It is weight activated and it works with any decent airbrush, even with the lightest Chinese cheapos. Although I doubt that you will want to use that if you have a Sparmax compressor, it is good to know that it works with different airbrushes than Sparmax. And in case you already own one or more airbrushes from different brands, you can be sure that you will be able to use them and that auto stop trick will work just fine with any of them. The instructions are represented by two sheets. First one is a signed off declaration letting you know that the compressor is done according to this and that, tons of now very modern regulations which many does not like to read about. There is a date signature and a name which makes it look very professional and reliable. Although I am not a fan of such things, that proves a point and demonstrates the way that things are done with that company. Second sheet includes the instructions for the compressor, starting with the safety information of course. Then product overview follows, something that we've basically just did here in this video. Part description and setup instructions, very useful for first-timers and for those who before getting that have used homemade compressors. There is a good explanation on how to use the silver bullet moisture trap and a decent troubleshooting guide. That last one is not very long, hopefully not many troubles can occur while using this compressor. However, if something happens, the explanation is here and the customer support is very active with Sparmax, so you can rest assured that your problem will be solved. Setting it up for first time is easy. Bear with me here for a few moments while I'm going to do it. For this review purposes, I intentionally chose a Sparmax airbrush with a large nozzle. Continuous trigger action and bigger nozzle will reveal how this compressor holds to such setup, which, even a rare one, might cause some troubles if your air supply isn't enough and steady. I'm using Sparmax MAX 4, which is 0.4mm nozzle. The largest nozzle that I ever used is 0.5 and the difference is not that big. What follows are unedited sounds of the compressor and how it works. Most of the area that it is being shot in is with glass and tiles, so in a modeling room it will be even more quieter than what you're about to hear next. Pretty steady work and the noise level is very low. It is unusual to feel the pressure relief from the moisture trap and regulating from there, but once you get the use of that feature, you will be fine. The compressor doesn't bounce around nor move like most of the competitive compressors within the price range. I think that it will be very useful for me in particular, especially with that size. I have two molding rooms 300 miles one from another, and sometimes I have to move around with the smaller one of the two compressors that I own. I think those days are over. Also, if you do presentations at your club meetings and visit friends for spraying on a project, you can see for yourself that the Arism VIZ will be very suitable for that job. There aren't many compressors from different brands that offer similar characteristics as this one. Truly, it looks more suited for the makeup industry than having it in your modeling room, especially with that looks. But the weight, the size, and the way it works makes it almost perfect. I know that many of the molders out there have big setups supplying more than one airbrush, but when you're on the move, this is your deal. Also, one must always remember that if you experience a power failure, this compressor can be supplied with a battery pack, or in case your main compressor dies for some reason. So, as a short conclusion, I can only highly recommend it. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you find that review useful. Compressors are something that we are rarely talk about while dwelling into the new stream of the newest kits or paint range coming. But they are important, and I suppose that this video might have helped. Stay tuned for more, subscribe and hit the like button.